Hello, everyone, and welcome back to It All Starts With a Wish podcast. My name is Rachel.
And I'm Mark.
Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit.
It's recital season.
It's recital season. Yay.
Dance recitals.
Dance recitals. And
Yay,
I just spent the last
no
3 days at one, and then next weekend I get to do it all again.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
I think it is fun.
Luke and I didn't have fun. We missed you.
I know. I missed you too.
Whatever.
Oh, no. You're opening your book.
Yeah, well, you know what? You didn't see us very much this week, so guess what? You get to be tortured, as does everybody else who listens to this podcast, with a dad joke.
All right, let it rip.
Why do you never see hippos hiding in trees?
I don't know.
Because they're very good at it.
What?
I don't know. That's what it says. I literally, folks, I do not pre-pick these. I literally just pick a random one off the page.
I have no idea what that even means.
I think it was so stupid that it was, that's the point. Like, it's just stupid.
Like, they're so good at hiding in trees that you wouldn't even know that they climb trees.
Right.
Because they're just so good at it.
This one's a little better.
Okay.
Did you hear about the panda's birthday party?
I did not.
It was total pandemonium. Come on, that one was a little better. At least that one made sense.
I'm not sure about the hippo in the tree one, but
the hippo in the tree one was bad. I'll even admit that was bad. Like,
I mean, you laughed. You
I laughed because it was so bad. I will say this. They're not like, they don't know who we are. But have you ever seen Dock Talk?
No.
It's two guys, not always the same guys, but they sit on a dock with their coffee.
Yes.
And they tell dad jokes and they try to make each other laugh.
Yeah.
So funny.
I don't know how they don't laugh at a lot of them. Some of them I'm like, all right, I could probably keep a straight face, but sometimes, like the first few times you see them just sitting there and not laughing at them, and then like taking a sip of their coffee and like looking around is almost more funny than, yes. I agree.
Anyways, pandemonium. This episode has started with pandemonium.
Pandemonium.
Yes, and hopefully your Disney trip is not filled with pandemonium, unless you want it to be, ? I don't know why you would, but
I don't know where that statement is going, but anyways, things that make sense. Let's go back to making sense here. Some things at Disney just make sense to do at night.
They do.
And that might sound weird to some people, especially people who are the quote-unquote rope drop people. They don't know what that means. Bright and early, they are getting on everything. But we're flipping the switch from day to night. And what are the places, attractions, and resorts that are better at night?
There are quite a few things at Walt Disney World. I'll say I enjoy all of the parks better at night. I think just prefacing it with the fact that I think each one of the parks, it is amazing how unique it is to visit these places during the day and then to see them at night and how different it feels.
Yeah, like the whole transformation, the whole atmosphere.
The atmosphere totally changes, and I would argue in a lot of ways, I think it's cooler at night. Literally and figuratively.
I was going to say, in the summer, quite literally.
It is cooler, temperature-wise, but I think that the parks almost get another level of...
They get, like,
I don't
more
want
homey.
this to sound...
Or, like, nostalgic.
Sure. Yeah, nostalgic's a good word. No. I don't want this to sound corny, and it's going to sound corny, so I'm just going to say it. They become more magical at night.
Oh, my God.
I know.
That was corny.
Group groan. We can all groan at that. I understand. But...
There's no other word.
They do. They legitimately do. Like, there is something about, I don't know if it's because of memories of my own childhood and visiting the parks at night with, like, the electrical light parade. Again, Disney, you need to bring back a nighttime parade in Magic Kingdom. They need to. Please, if you're listening, I know you're not. Bring one back. I don't know if it's those memories or just the fact that everything just looks prettier at night.
Yeah.
But it does feel so much more magical when the sun sets.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely is a personal preference, so it's going to vary person to person. But I do agree that all of the parks at night, the whole atmosphere just gets a little calmer, even though the crowds might not necessarily be calmer. Everything just kind of seems calmer. Am I making sense?
No.
I feel more relaxed in the parks at night. And
Okay.
it might just be because the sunlight is overstimulating as far as like everything's
Perhaps.
bright, colors are bright, it's loud, everything's blah, everything gets
You overstimulated?
dim.
No.
I know, that's
That would
weird.
never happen.
No way. Sun goes down, all the pretty lights come on. You know what? This is a good segue into something completely unrelated. Are you ready for this?
No.
There's this trend going on between couples of one is an overhead light person and another is a lamp person. So which one are we? Because I feel like I always have all the lights on.
Well, you never turn the lights off.
That's true.
It's not a matter of always having the lights on when you're in a
So-
room. You just never turn the lights off. You just walk upstairs without turning the lights off. And then electricity costs money last time I checked.
Okay, but like I just
so
think
that
it's funny
upsets
that
me.
like I feel more relaxed without the lights on, yet I feel like I'm an overhead light person. And I feel like you're okay with just turning on a light next to you.
Yeah, I do like lamps. My office at work, we literally bought lamps for the office.
Yeah, like
And
there's no overhead lights.
me and the other person that cohabitates my office with me, my office mate.
Office mate.
Yes, Tyler. Shout out to Tyler. We only use lamps. We don't use the overhead
Do you
lights.
have overhead lights?
We do.
And
But
you
it
don't
feels
use
very
them?
much like a hospital in there when you turn it on, and I don't like that. So I would like the natural light coming in through the windows, because it is a building that was designed to maximize natural light.
But I think it's
also
because when I
lamps.
can't see something, I get more frustrated. Like, I don't know how you can sit in the living room with just the TV and those two lamps on and, like, do something.
Yeah.
Like, you can't see anything. Just turn the big lights on.
Yeah, I don't need the big lights. It's nice with the big lights off. Anyways.
Anyways, that was my segue.
We both like the parks at night. I don't know why we just went on that tangent. The parks at night are better. And I think we'll start with the most obvious, Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom,
Twinkle lights.
obviously the twinkle lights. Folks, if you do not know, around the hub in
Twinkle
front
lights,
of
fairy
the
lights.
Cinderella's castle, there are little fairy lights in the trees. And all Rachel can talk about ever when we visit at night is how much she loves the twinkle lights. So if you have not heard that before,
it adds an
which
extra magical touch.
I know this has come up 100 times in this podcast already, but if this is your first episode, just so it's clear for everybody, Rachel likes the twinkle lights
I do.
around the hub
I do.
in front of Cinderella's castle.
Yep.
But Magic Kingdom in and of itself, in many ways the flagship, right, of the 4 theme parks in Walt Disney World. There is something that walking down Main Street at night, especially if it's right after the fireworks and the lights just came back up, there is something about that experience that, okay, walking down Main Street, USA, first thing on your trip, the first time you visit
In the
Magic
morning, yeah,
Kingdom,
you have to do it.
and you round and you see Cinderella's cat. I get it. That's awesome. It's not as awesome, though. I'm sorry. It's not as awesome as walking down Main Street, USA at night.
I think it's something about the big circle lights on the signs and like that old school feel.
Yeah, you almost feel like you step back in time
Yeah.
to like classic Main Street, USA.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the intended
Like old
purpose
movie
of...
theaters with the signs and
That's
the
why
lights. And,
it's
I
kind of the
know.
purpose of the design of it was...
I understand.
Okay, just saying.
Thank you for clarifying. I'm aware.
Just saying. That's kind of what they were going for. So I'm
Well,
glad that they achieved
Walk
it.
past that, and you get to see the twinkle lights. The better part
Oh, boo. No.
of everything. But speaking of Magic Kingdom, and a land that is much cooler at night, Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland is pretty awesome at night.
It is a whole different world.
It is.
It feels more spacey. It feels more futuristic being there at night.
I think that all the lands, I'll say this, all the lands of Magic Kingdom I think are more fun and more exciting
Yeah.
and more intriguing at night. But Tomorrowland, I do agree that it brings out the theming more.
It sticks out more.
Like, during the day, Tomorrowland, okay, it feels futuristic. At night...
It just kind of feels, like, gray and, like, futuristic. And, like, I don't get these metal tree things. Like, I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At night, it pops. It really pops.
I get it.
And it, like, all comes together. So I do 100% agree. And while we're in Tomorrowland, riding the People Mover at night is... I think it's a great ride during the day, but there is something extra special about riding it at night and seeing all the different colored lights and watching people as they walk around.
Castle
and if
really
you
pops.
can time it right, the castle does pop. Mm-hmm. And if you can time it right, I will say watching the fireworks from the People Mover is one of the coolest ride experiences I've ever had at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Other rides are cool on it too, but I think you get better views and longer views of the fireworks on the People Mover than other rides that you can also see fireworks on. So that's the one to really...
I'll say other rides well worth hitting at night in Magic Kingdom while we're on the topic of that. The Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
The Jungle Cruise is corny and funny during the daytime, but there's something about doing that at night that, I don't know, it steps up the game. It's almost more adventurous, I feel, at night than it is during the day.
Yeah, it seems a little, like, more mysterious.
Yes.
And not scary, but it gives more of a creepy jungle-esque feel.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Same
Thunder
jokes.
Mountain. Same jokes. Same corny jokes. Thunder Mountain, I'm going to bring out my regional dialect. Wicked awesome.
Wicked
awesome.
Wicked.
At night.
Wicked awesome. Another great one for the fireworks.
It is. Another cool one to watch the
you
fireworks
get a little
from.
bit of peekaboos, though, on that one, so not...
And I'll say, if you want to ride Thunder Mountain, not the most thrilling ride in all of Walt Disney World, obviously. Riding in the back helps, but also riding it at night also helps. Something about that element of darkness that makes the ride more fun, and I think it makes it feel like the ride's going faster than it is.
Oh, yeah.
So
well, I mean, it's just like Space Mountain, right?
It amps up the fun level, I feel. Also in Frontierland, I would have also said Splash Mountain.
No.
But I can't say that anymore. But I can say Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Yes.
Obviously have not rode it yet. I cannot give you my opinions on it yet because haven't experienced it. But I will say from the videos and some of the pictures I've seen, the colors on that ride at night
it's just very, very vibrant.
Like, beautifully. I would say better than it did on Splash Mountain.
Yeah. Yes. I agree.
Like, very vibrant colors that really pop.
It got a really good update
at night
with that. And another good one that you can, if timed correctly, on your drop, and sometimes around that top where now her garden is, you can see fireworks as well.
You certainly can. This one, it doesn't really matter, I guess, because the ride's indoors, but I still think it's cooler at night. Haunted Mansion.
I think the outside is cooler at night.
There's something...
The queue is creepier and better at night.
There's something about going through that queue and then going into the ride that is so much better at night than it is during the day. It really, I think, sets the stage and preps you for it so much better when you ride that ride at night.
You're in a graveyard.
But, of course, riding the ride indoors, right, it doesn't really matter. But
Yeah.
No,
it definitely does.
That queue line and that pre-show, I think, are so much more effective when it is dark outside.
Yeah, I agree.
So highly recommend that. The last one that I'll bring up in Magic Kingdom that I think is worth riding at night is Mine Train. For a very similar reason to, Thunder Mountain. I think the ride's more thrilling at night, and it's kind of a cool effect. Again, another ride that you could time with the fireworks and get that cool experience. The one land I am going to knock slightly with the experience at night is Fantasyland. Not because it's not beautiful, because I do think that new Fantasyland at night is beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's almost too dark for me at night.
Yeah. I think because it's so themed to like that time period fairy tale-esque that there's not a lot of lights.
Yeah.
The only thing that's really lit up over there is going to be like the teacup area, somewhat Mine Train, Gaston's Tavern. The fountain kind of has lights on it. And then some lights going into like Be Our Guest, like that walkway.
Yeah.
But nothing really around Ariel's grotto. She's lit up on the front of the boat.
Yeah, and there's like light posts, and I'm not saying it's not themed well, because it's themed very well, I would argue. But just that experience at night, I just think it's a little tough to see, and I have a few times tripped or ran into things because it is so dark. So that's the one that I'm going to knock. Not because the theming's not on point, but the theming's almost so good that I can't see.
We're like really in a fairy tale land with no electricity. I have to say that Ariel's grotto, the waterfall, is absolutely beautiful at night.
It is.
I have a picture somewhere deep in the archives that I'd have to go out and look for, but it is very beautiful. It's like purpley blue, and it's really great. The only other ride that I can think of that is cooler at night is, I'm going to say, the teacups.
Yeah.
Not that during the day it's not fun.
No, but they do have cool light patterns that go with it at night.
I feel like it brings it to life a little bit more.
Sure.
Than
I'll give
just
that to
during
you.
the day. That was like an honorable mention. You know?
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another park I absolutely love to walk around at night in. Epcot.
Ooh!
There is something about World Showcase at night that I love. World Showcase any time of the day. I think it's an awesome part. It may be one of my favorite lands in a park in Walt Disney World.
World Showcase?
World Showcase. I think that literally may be one of my favorite lands in all of the Disney parks. But there is something, you walk through those countries at night, and they're cool during the day, but there's something about that ambiance that comes out when the lights come on, and some of the elements and glittering lights in certain places, and the fire posts all around the water, and it puts you in that Epcot mood. Like, it reminds me of Illuminations, Reflections of Earth. Like, it just, when I walk through Epcot at night, it makes me very happy.
It makes me very happy.
It makes me more happy at night than it does during the day.
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely. It's definitely more calming and more, it's just that ambiance, like you said.
Yeah. And it's not a knock on, any of the other lands now, since there's 4 of them now. There used to only be 2, but now there's 4. There's World Celebration, World Nature, and something else. I forget the other one. They're also new. I forget. Nothing against those, because they are pretty too at night. But man, oh man, World Showcase is the place to be at night in Epcot.
I know, and Epcot's a hard one too, because I mean, definitely a night World Showcase, but as far as rides go, I feel like they're all indoors.
Rides,
so, yeah. I mean, and none of them I don't think you're really affected by the sunlight, like as far as giving the theming anymore, like Haunted Mansion or anything.
Not at all.
The only thing that I think looks pretty cool is Guardians of the Galaxy.
It does.
Their spaceship thing looks cooler at night.
Yeah.
Obviously, Spaceship Earth.
Beautiful.
Lights up.
The lights that they put on for the, I think it was for the 50th anniversary, and they've just kept them
I'm so glad
up.
they kept them. And I hope they don't bring them down.
Such a fantastic addition.
Yeah.
Really, like, it adds an extra element to that. Not that the old, like, mood lights that used to be on it weren't beautiful, but there's something about all of those little lights and the shows that they do and the patterns that they do that's really amazing. I will also say that we've not been on Moana's, but walk through Moana's water.
That at night.
Thing at night. It looks
top tier.
Yeah, it does.
Those pictures look absolutely beautiful.
So I'll withhold my comments on that, because I think that will be really cool to see at night. I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, the pictures definitely look cooler. Haven't done it personally, but I mean, just the way that Te Fiti lights up and the water lights up, and it just looks cooler to me, that's all.
But I'm telling you, nothing beats, like, going to England and getting yourself a nice beer and sitting on a bench somewhere and just sitting in the nice, cool Florida weather when the sun goes down. Watch the people and just take in that beautiful ambiance at night.
Yeah, very, very relaxing.
Me,
definitely has a different vibe than any other park as far as relaxation and atmosphere. Yeah, absolutely. Should we go across to Hollywood Studios?
I think that's the most sensible thing to do. Yeah.
All right, awesome. So, Hollywood Studios, definitely a hot park during the day. Not a lot of shade.
General
First-
theme here. Park better at night.
General theme. However, there are some things that it doesn't really matter day or night. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Some of these things, like, at night is better.
sure.
Hands down. Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
Hands down. Better at night.
Yeah.
I don't care. I will argue. Change my mind, people.
I don't think anybody can.
You can't.
Because it is.
Because it is.
It just fundamentally,
It's
it
just
feels
better.
so much more Star Wars at night. Again,
You literally feel like you're on a different planet.
Nothing against it during the day. Nothing against
No.
it during the day. But it just gets amped up at night. And just that experience of walking through and seeing all that there is to do, especially I'm thinking of like the marketplace area, especially in that area that's kind of around
Like Oga's area.
Oga's Cantina.
Yeah.
Like that whole area of the land is super, super cool at night. And
I feel like during the day, a lot of the details are missed. I think just because they blend in so well that once the shadows and like the sun goes down, more you notice more
yeah.
than you did during the day. Just because things are just very tan and sand, and
Yeah.
that obviously goes very well with the theme. But things start to pop out a little more, so it's definitely a lot cooler.
Doesn't so much affect the rides. I guess
No.
Rise of the Resistance a little bit because there is an outdoor element to that ride, but
That
not
ride's cool
really
no matter what.
affecting it. It's
No.
more the land ambiance as a whole. However, if you walk over to Toy Story Land, I would argue that this is a land that is both affected just in the general ambiance as well as the
and
rides.
the rides, all the rides. I
Toy
would
Story
argue.
Land is hot.
Yes,
It is set up
it's newer.
in a way, it's newer, but it's set up in a way that it's supposed to feel like you got shrunk down to the size of a toy.
Right,
So there's not trees because
you're in the grass.
you're
a
in the
backyard.
grass. Right.
So
So there's plant and vegetation that are emblematic of like bushes and plant and grass
and-
around you,
yeah.
and not so much like big trees. So it gets really, really hot in Toy Story Land during the day. So
does.
you gain a lot of advantage by going at night because if you're going in the summer, it's a lot cooler.
yeah,
Point number 2, the lighting in Toy Story Land. The Christmas lights
Yeah.
strung from the poles and stuff, it just pops. It has that kid
carnival.
carnival-like feel. It does almost kind of have a carnival-like feel. And so it does make you feel like a little kid at a carnival walking through the land, which, again, I think is a very nostalgic feeling that land gives.
Yeah,
And Slinky Dog, unbelievable at night.
yeah.
That ride should never be...
I don't want to say don't bother during the day, but don't bother during the day.
if-
I mean, if that's the only time you can get it, then obviously do it, but just wait. It is so much better at night. It's that
is.
same thing. Turn off the lights, you get more of a thrill than during
and
the
the
day.
track itself actually lights up.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. There's lights that run down the middle of the track. It's just an awesome experience at night. And Alien Swirling Saucers,
Same thing.
although it's not the best, most amazing ride in the world, is a lot cooler at night.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be the same as like the teacups. There's gonna be more lights on, like the music is going, the different like not strobe lights, but you know, like different flashes of things on the floor, and definitely more of a disco party feel
Yeah.
on that. Toy Story Mania. Sorry, doesn't really change.
No, because it's indoors.
It's indoors, so
The last 2 spots, I would argue, well, you know, Muppets Courtyard's cool at night too. Nothing
Yeah.
against that. But there is something about Sunset Boulevard with the Tower
well,
of
the Tower
Terror
of Terror, the sign,
looming in
yeah,
the distance.
that definitely is something at night,
Yeah.
for sure, or even sunset. I feel like not even like complete nighttime. I feel like Sunset Boulevard at sunset, right when the lights come on.
Yeah,
I feel like that
it's
has
pretty
a
at
really
that golden hour.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's really, really pretty.
It does kind of pop at that golden hour as the sun's just setting. But I don't know, man. Something about the Tower of Terror.
I mean, that's
night,
your favorite ride there.
That is really cool.
And it's creepy, and it adds to the creep factor.
It does. It totally adds
Screams
to that ambiance
in the distance.
and people screaming. And that ride, although it's indoors for it's pretty much the whole time, besides when the doors open when you're on.
But it definitely affects it because you can see all the lands at night, so you can see like Toy Story and Galaxy's Edge and all that stuff like light up in the distance.
Again,
so it's really
going
cool.
through that queue at night, like that ride is plussed, if you will. It's amped up. It's better. It's elevated by riding it at night.
Yep.
Highly suggest Tower of Terror at night. And even the little rock and roller coaster like courtyard area is, I think it looks pretty
the big
at
guitar
night.
and it definitely pops.
It's got cool elements and like the lighting. They are masters of lighting and the use of lighting, so they do a really good job.
Except for in the Fantasyland, apparently, according to you.
Yeah, well, hey, they're good at it. They just don't light it well for me to be able to walk.
You're just blind. So
yeah, I do have vision problems, so that doesn't help. But
that doesn't help.
Anyways, Hollywood Studios, definitely a park where almost all of the lands in the park are cooler at night. And let's not forget, especially with the new marquee that they put on the side of it, the Chinese theater is really, really a neat element at night. I do miss the hat still a little bit.
I know.
But with that being said, walking down that main entrance into Hollywood Studios at night and seeing that Mickey and Minnie's marquee light up on it, it looks really nice.
Yeah, that neon.
It was a nice touch that they added to that building, and it kind of made it pop more, and I think it makes it more of a focal point now than it was when that was not on the building.
Yeah, when it was just a building. Yeah. It's kind of like, what is that weird looking building? People would be like, what's in there? It's a great movie ride.
It was.
I do miss that ride.
No longer is.
Anyways, last but certainly not least in the park category is Animal Kingdom. Now this one...
Pandora. Hands down.
I was going to say, depending on the time of year you go, you might not get to see this. So, if you go in the summertime, they usually close at like 7.
It's early.
Or 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now, the summer is still light out at that time. So... you will not see some of the amazing, luminescent? Luminescent? I was thinking like a bioluminescent.
Yeah, bioluminescent. That's what they call it.
Oh my gosh. The Tood. You will not get to see those. We have gone in the winter, in January, where it gets dark relatively early before the park closes. So, if you really, really, really want to see Pandora come to life, and like really feel like you're in a mystical jungle, I wouldn't go in the summer. You're not going to see it.
Not unless they change their hours.
Which I don't foresee that happening. Maybe. Who knows?
There may be a drone show coming to Animal Kingdom. Who knows? It's
don't
a possibility.
Know. Maybe. But for right now, if you're going maybe this year,
sure,
maybe stay away from the summer.
Yeah.
But still a really cool land,
which is
Pandora.
sad because I liked Animal Kingdom when they used to have later hours in Animal Kingdom pre-pandemic.
I even liked that water show.
I
thought it was a cool water show.
Yeah, it was neat. The Rivers of Light.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
it was nice.
Spectacular.
No, but it's tough when they can't use fireworks in Animal Kingdom because of the animals.
But I think what they did with it was really cool.
But there are different parts. Like Everest at night is such a cool ride to ride at night. The safari even at night was tough to see in parts, and
but you get to see different animals.
You did get to see
more
different
active
animals
at different times,
and some of the lighting effects to make it look like it was sunset were a little like
I was a little cheesy,
but
look at that sunset, they said, and it was like that is a screen,
right? Because they were trying to let you see the animals. But
no, I know.
With that being said, I did like riding that ride, kind of in that twilight time frame too, as well. So, yeah, I'm kind of bummed that when you go in the summer, you don't get to see elements of that. But certainly, Pandora itself, the whole land as a whole, just that bioluminescence, once it comes to life at night, it is beautiful. The floating mountains, the water features, all of that. Highly, highly, highly recommend seeing that at night. And I'll add, too, that little area around the Tree of Life at the entrance to the park, too. is cool to see at night with the lighting effects when it lights up and they do the little light shows on the Tree of Life too as well. It's just unfortunate that right now not really open at night, so you don't get to see a lot of those effects, especially if you're visiting in the summer months.
I definitely recommend Pandora at night if you can do it. It's hard because in the summer it does kind of start. Some of the things start to glow a little bit in shaded areas, so you can kind of get a little glimpse of it, but you don't get the full effect of Pandora. And during the day, it is breathtaking, honestly, at night with the amount of colors, and it is just really cool. But yeah, I would like to see Animal Kingdom's hours shift, especially during the summer, because I think a lot of people miss out on that.
Definitely. Disney Springs.
Disney Springs. I mean, I think it's just like anything outdoor, right? Like, I think this kind of, not to your extent, but this kind of goes hand in hand with like World Showcase. The lampposts are on. You still have the hustle bustle, but the atmosphere brings it down. More people have drinks in their hand. There's usually live music playing. It definitely just gives like that outside. I don't want to say like it is. It's not a mall. Like, I want to say mall, but like it's more than that. It feels like a little like strip.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It feels more like mall. Seems like, you know, not as cool as it is.
Sure.
Like if you say an outdoor mall, it's like, oh, whippy. But like this is cooler than an outdoor
cool outdoor
mall.
malls, though.
Well, it's really cool. I think the Legos. I think the Lego area is really cool because they get to shine on those.
There are a few areas that
sculptures
kind
that they
of,
have.
you know, of
Rainforest
course,
Cafe.
Rainforest Cafe pops at night too.
Blah, blah, blah.
And there is some restaurants too with some really neat outdoor or semi-outdoor seating too that I don't know that I would sit at it during the day just because of heat factors and stuff like that, especially if you're going in the summer. But at night, really, really neat spots. I'm thinking of like Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar.
Yeah.
And the Boathouse has some seating that's outdoors. And
there's even that lava bar at Rainforest that's on the outside, which is cool, right on the water. So I think that could be like really cool at night too.
Definitely.
But the biggest thing at Disney Springs at night is the drone show.
Yes, the drone show. I almost forgot about that
you
because that's so new.
can't see that during the day.
Right.
But it brings an extra element of Disney Springs at night.
Well, I guess that we should have added that for the other 4 theme parks, too.
Well, yeah,
Magic
but
Kingdom's
this is
fireworks,
new. I just wanted to...
fireworks.
They're obviously not going to do this during the day. I just wanted to add this to Disney Springs because they didn't have a show like this at all.
Right. They didn't have anything.
They didn't have a show.
And now they have this drone show.
So now they have a show, and that's really cool.
It is. And it does add an extra element of, I think, a reason to go to Disney Springs at night.
Yeah.
You know, beyond just the shopping and eating and all that, it adds an extra thing for you to do and to see as a family while you're there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Hotels. All of the hotels, that's all I have to say. Just all of them are better at night.
All of them?
I do think all of them are better at night. I think that they're all prettier at night. However, I will say that there are a few that I think go above and beyond.
There's a handful that stick out.
I will indicate the Boardwalk Beach Club Yacht Club area, that whole around Crescent Lake loop. Those hotels, absolutely gorgeous at night. Dolphin. Yeah, to a certain degree.
I mean, they're nice to see in the distance. Like it adds to the landscape.
It does, kind of. I think it kind of ruins the landscape, though. Too.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like looking at a fish?
I think it's kind of like more modern and ugly compared to what you see at the other two. I'm not saying I hate it, but I think the boardwalk.
So when you're looking at it, like, don't look past the dance hall.
I try not to. Frankly, I try not to. Because I just think that
don't turn to your right.
The yacht club and the beach club just so gorgeous at night with the lighting effects and Stormalong Bay and the pool area, and then then
the boardwalk.
The boardwalk itself, just the whole stretch of the boardwalk is just so amazing at night. So that area, those hotels definitely get a special mention for me. For sure.
Honestly, the All Stars.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
I kind of have to say that at night they are a little cooler than during the day, just because I feel like that certain elements pop more. I think that it looks a little prettier than just big statues in the sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Polynesian.
Polynesian, totally.
That is next. All Stars, I guess, is an honorable mention. Just throwing it in there. Polynesian. The beach, spectacular.
Absolutely.
At night and sunset, just that whole area, even just walking around the resort, I think you feel like you're in Hawaii. In the Pacific.
You do. And we've been there, so we can
We
confirm.
have been there.
You do feel it.
Great place to just walk around. We haven't stayed there yet. Hopefully
maybe the
in
next
the very soon future. But even just going to walk around there at night to see the fireworks from Magic Kingdom, highly worth it.
Definitely.
Next one for you?
Riviera.
Riviera.
The Riviera at night is absolutely gorgeous.
It is. It's just gorgeous in general.
The
it's just
lighting,
even more gorgeous at night.
Yeah, the way that the lighting brings out some of the architectural features there is really amazing.
Yeah, the details that you don't see during the day, and that's why they're great. They're masters of light. They sure are. Any other ones? Not really.
I'm gonna throw it out there. The Grand Floridian.
So I just thought of that one, but I was kind of like, maybe.
The Grand Floridian at night, I do think it adds to the elegance.
Yeah.
It adds to the elegance.
Yeah.
So, I think is it on the level of the Polynesian? No.
No.
But it does do something for it at night.
Yeah. No, it is pretty at night. That's true. That's pretty much it as far as, really standout resorts.
Yeah, I mean Pop Century, Art of Animation, those kind of on the way of the
beach, Caribbean Beach.
The All Stars, like kind of similar to that. You know, they do have those added animated features and kind of those larger than life statues that are in those, like at the All Stars. I do think are a little bit.
I think the
more interesting to look at
Art of
night.
Animation pool is cooler at night.
Yeah.
Definitely brings out the blue and the big blue pool. So that's really cool with even those spotlights on it. Definitely brings out those features.
Yeah. But I do think that I think almost all of the hotels have elements that when you see them at night.
But you think the top ones are Boardwalk, Yacht and Beach, Polynesian, Grand Floridian, Riviera.
Yeah. I think those would be in my upper tier.
Ones.
There may be people who disagree and want to add more, but
maybe.
I think that is definitely the upper tier of hotels at night.
Well,
as you can see, there is a lot to see and do at Walt Disney World at night. And do not sleep, get it? Do not sleep on visiting the park at night. I think it is well worth it. And I think it's almost better sometimes than rope dropping the park.
Crickets. No, I agree. I definitely think there's room. I feel like there's like rope drop people and there's night people, but there's room for both in your trip. And we've gotten really good at that, I feel like, of balancing. We kind of have a morning and a night at every park. I feel like that does it justice. Like, we're not saying we don't spend the whole day at one park. We do like Magic Kingdom in the morning and then Epcot at night. And then we do Hollywood Studios in the morning and then maybe Magic Kingdom at night that night. Yeah. So vary it. There's more to see than just, when the sun goes down, don't go back to the parks. There is more to see.
Definitely. Well, folks, as always, I want to encourage you to follow us on our social media accounts. Send us an email at startswithawish.podcast@gmail.com. And remember, it all starts with a wish. We'll see you real soon.
Bye.